All right, thank you very much. So I want us to quickly look at this question under functional budget. Question 84, functional budget. R Limited manufactures three products, gamma, beta, and then the other which starts with D. Data for preparation of June budget is as follows. So they've given us sales, the product, the quantity, and then the price for each. Then the material usage. The material used in the company's product are X1, X2, and X3. So for them to produce G, B, and D, they need three different raw materials with their cost price or with their unit cost. So price per raw material. Budgeted quantities of material used per product. If they want to produce a particular product, this is how they will use the raw materials. Finished goods stock, J, B, and D, 1st June. So remember we're working on a budget for June. So finish 1st June, that will be opening stock. Then 30th June will be closing stock. So they've given us opening and closing stock for finished goods and then raw material. That makes it very easy for us. All right. Now, what is the requirement? Explain the term principal budget factor. Then prepare budget for the following for the month of June. One, sales in quantity and in value, production quantity, material usage, and the material purchases. All right, quickly, let's start. So the first one will be the sales budget. So sales budget. Sales budget. Then let me bold in it. All right. So we know for sales budget, so we come with the different products. So J, B, and D. So J, B, and then D. You get that? Then Ghana cedi. No, it will not be Ghana cedis. Maybe total. So just the total that will be in Ghana cedis. All right. So we start with sales in units. Then selling price per unit. Selling price per unit. And then you have sales in value. All right. So what are the quantities? 1,002, 2,000, 1,005. So 1,200, 2,000, and then 1,500. So we can't have total. Why? Because the total, we can't add apples to oranges. So no total. Then the selling prices will be what? 110, 115, 120. 110, 115, and then 120. The same thing, we cannot have total. So we multiply the quantity multiplied by the selling price. And then here we go. We can now have total for the values because that is all Ghana cedi. So this is all. That is the sales budget, as simple as that. Let's move on to look at the production budget. Production budget. So production budgets. Production budget. So the same thing. So for that one, we have X1 up to X3. So X1, X2, and then X3. All right. So we start with sales and units. Then we add closing stock. And then less opening stock. All right, so sales in units, we already have that. So you just copy and come and paste. Then you are good to go. Then closing stock, let's go closing stock. So production budget relates to finished goods. So you go finished goods, we have opening and closing. So opening, 1,100, 1050. So opening, 1100, 1050. And then we have 520, 520. Then the closing, we have 1,200, 1450. 1,200, 1450, and then 840. 840. All right. So then the opening stock will be in brackets. Opening stock will be in brackets. Opening stock will be in brackets. So let's net them. Let's net them. And we are there. Voila, as simple as that. All right, let's move on to look at the next one, which is what? Material usage in quantity. Material usage in quantity. Material usage in quantity. So material usage budgets. Material usage budget. So we start with so it is the usage, raw material usage. So the raw material usage. Oh, people, please forgive me. The production budget is supposed to be B because it's finished goods. It's supposed to be J, B, oh, I don't know why the Excel is, and then D. Sorry. So it's supposed to be B, J, B, and D. So the sales in units, we took J, B, and D, and then the opening stock. We took J, B, and D. You see that? So this is where we will have X1, S2, S3. Sorry about that. So X1, X2, and then what? X3. Okay, so we start with the production quantity, then you multiply. So is the production quantity multiplied by usage per unit. Usage per unit. So the production quantity. So we have 1,200 no, 1,300, 2,400, and then 1,460. So we will multiply this with the usage per unit. So when you come usage per unit, okay, so the usage per unit are quite because they will be 9, so that will be difficult to list all of them. So let's go straight. So we will do it based on the finished product. So J, B, and then what? And D. So for X1, we have 3, 2, and 4. So So for gin, equal to gin is 1,300. X1, we are going to use 3. Then the same thing for X2, 1,300. So because it's gin, so we see gin. For X2, we are going to use 3. So gin, we are on gin. So that's how come we are using 1,003. So the same 1,300, and we are going to use what? 1. Gin, X3, they need 1. So multiply by 1. Then we come B. So we use B. Multiply by 2, 3, and 2. So 2, this, 3, this, multiply by 2. See that? So if you like, we can do this. So it will be 1,300 at 3, 3, 3, 3, 1. Then when we come here, it is 2,400 multiplied by 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and then 2. Then 1,460 multiplied by 4 and then 2. 4, 0, and then 2. You see that? So this makes it easier. So this 1 times 4. Here, this times 0. Then here, this multiply by 2. See that? So that's that. Now we can look for we can net them. So if you net, you get the totals. So that's all. That's the material usage budget. So we move on to look at the purchase budget. Purchase budget. So the purchase budget, we are starting with the trade of the raw material. So we start with what? The raw material usage. You start with the raw material usage. Raw material usage, you have what? 14,544 X1, S2, and S3. So you just reproducing. Then you add what? Add closing stock. And then you less what? Opening stock. You see that? So closing stock of raw material and opening stock of raw material is here, opening and closing. So 22,000 opening, 22, 18,000, 18,000, and then 14,000, 14,000, 33,400, 33,400, 26,000, and then 16,000, 16. All right. So, okay. So the opening will be in brackets. The opening will be in brackets. The opening will be in brackets. So let's net all of them. Okay, when we net, this is what we get. So that is also that. If you want this in value, you multiply by the cost price. Let me see if they ask for it, including total value. All right, okay. So the material purchase in quantity and value. See, so we can bring the total here. See that? So material purchase price or cost price per unit. So when we come here, we will get that the material, this is the purchase price, 5, 8, and 7. 5, 8, and then what? 7. So this is material purchase quantity. You see, and then material purchase value. You see that? So you multiply the quantity multiplied by what? The price per unit. And that gives us the value. Then we add all these three to get the total value. And that is all. You see that? So that's all. So that is that for this question. We are done solving the question. Please look at it. If you have some questions, let me know. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.